My dear, loyal, blessed, and innocent brothers, we have received the very blessed gift of your pen, which we view as being very valuable, and is for me like an eternal and sacred gift of Firdaus, the highest level of paradise, coming from the aspect of Wildanun Mukhalladun in paradise. It has delighted both our past and upcoming aids like the confectionaries and sweets of paradise, and has adorned our spiritual assembly like the gowns and cloths of the houris wearing the 70 varieties of adornments and embroideries. You will appreciate just how valuable this gift is from the perspective of the service of the Nur, from an incident I recently experienced and which entered my dream. It is as follows. 3 days ago, the moment your valuable spiritual gift was on its way to Kastamonu, I saw in a dream that coming from a spiritual realm was a royal decree. It was being brought to us by hand with complete reverence to confer a promotion and high rank. We saw that sacred decree as being the glorious Qur'an. While in that state the following meaning was imparted to my heart. With this Qur'an, the collective spiritual character of the Risale-i Nur, and we as its students, were receiving a promotion and elevated rank from the realm of the Ghaib, unseen. The interpretation of this dream is that we will receive the spiritual tafsir of the Qur'an by the pens of the innocent scribes, which represented the royal decree. The interpretation of Faizi and Amin 1 or 2 hours before this interpretation actualized is also true and important. Also, my spirit completely felt with foresight, but did not inform my mind of this enlightened gift, which was the cause of joy and comfort 2 days before its arrival. On the day of the night I saw the dream, as Faizi and Amin referred to in their statements, from morning till evening, and for some part of the second day, I felt an extraordinary sense of joy and happiness that I had never before experienced. I repeatedly expressed my happiness, laughing with a smile 30 or 40 times at any excuse. Both Faizi and I were extremely bewildered and amazed. Note: yes, we had never before seen our Ustad so cheerful. Since we did not know its reason, we were left amazed. Amin, Faizi. How is it that one who did not laugh once in 30 days would laugh 30 times in 1 day? It left us baffled and amazed. We now understand that this joy and happiness was bearing the good news of the above-mentioned writings by the pens of those innocents and illiterates representing the spiritual decree. It was delivering the good news of their pens writing on the life pages of future generations and the pages of destiny for the world of Islam. It was radiating Nur to the book of deeds of future believers, and was writing and recording in our book of deeds the sincere and pure deeds and services of those innocents. Moreover, the gift which had not yet arrived was notifying the good news that the future of the Risale-i Nur students was to continue on happily. I had spiritually felt my 1 share out of 1,000 from that great accumulation of rewards and was brought to joyous excitement. Indeed, the acceptable deeds and irreversible prayers of hundreds of such innocents was going to be recorded in the book of deeds of the rest of my brothers and sisters. So too, their being recorded in the page of deeds of a sinful person like myself is enough to offer thousands of joy and happiness. Working so innocently and heroically in such dark times and extreme conditions, those innocents, illiterates, their teachers, fathers and mothers, their villages and towns, their nation and Anatolia should all be congratulated. If I had the means, I would write out a personal commendation expressing my appreciation and congratulating each one of those blessed innocents and illiterates. They should therefore accept this wish of mine as though it was presented to them. I will write their name in the form of a circle and look at it during my time of dua. I will also make them share in all of my spiritual gains by including them in the circle of elect students of the Risale-i Nur. Pass my greetings on my behalf to their fathers and mothers or their relatives and teachers. May Allah grant them and their children happiness in this world and in the hereafter. Ameen. We pass our salam and pray for all our brothers in general, and we request their dua during these 10 nights which have received the praise of the Qur'an as the Layalin Ashr. Here we attach the passages written by Amin and Faizi regarding the dream. To our brothers in Sparta, together with this subtle dream giving us a conviction at the degree of witnessing about a matter relating to Qadr with respect to the spiritual tidings and good news it provides, we will share with you, our brothers, the second part of that subtle dream. It is as follows. 2 days ago, our Ustad saw in his dream that I, that is Faizi, was traveling together with Ustad on foot. As we are walking, I suddenly turned to Ustad saying, "Here, I will start to collect the beds of the bears' tasbih." Our Ustad looks and sees that there are certain things which look like tangled white strings. After this laughable suggestion and my state of ascribing a tasbih to a bear, Ustad apparently woke up laughing and continued to laugh after he was awake. In a manner which is completely out of the ordinary, he laughingly made a jest to that incident in his dream 20 or 30 times until that evening. Despite our attempts to interpret it with things that had no connection, none of it matched the interpretation. 2 days later, in his usual practice, on the same day and same time he experienced the events within the true dream, a friend who looks like me, since Ustad had seen him in my image, came next to Ustad and asked, "A muezzin who makes tasbihs told me to give an important man a remedy made from the fat tissues of a bear. What do you say about following his advice?" Upon hearing this, our Ustad began laughing just like he had in the dream. He then remembered the dream and, seeing with complete amazement and surprise how its strange interpretation unfolded exactly as he had seen it, he said to him, "Beware, he should not use it." As shown in the 6th point of the first Risale on the 28th letter, which is about dreams, true dreams are a form of certain proof that divine Qadr encompasses all things. In the same way, our Ustad has seen through thousands of experiences, so too does this incident certainly prove to us at the degree of witnessing that before they come into being, events are determined, known, and fixed. In showing how they come into being through the measures of divine Qadr, for us, it has for us become a subtle and decisive demonstration of this pillar of Iman. Also, in the second level of the same dream, our Ustad sees that a decree is sent to the delegation of the Nur. It suddenly came, and that sacred decree turned out to be the Qur'an. The interpretation of this was that at the same time of that day, the Hizbul Akbar of the Qur'an arrived in a 100-year-old container at a completely unexpected time from the home of the known Lady Asiya, with embellishments around it, which had a royal seal used for important decrees made by the Sultan, gilded on it. Our Ustad said, "It was the Qur'an that came as a decree. Now it is the Hizbul Akbar of the Qur'an that has arrived. Since it has on it the seal of a decree, it is our hope from divine mercy that it would become like a divine decree delivering the good news for the delegation of the Nur, and its being the means of effulgence and development. 2 days after making this interpretation, your very valuable gift revealed like the sun its true interpretation." From the Nur students and permanent servants Amin and Faizi, who is a junior Husrab. My dear, loyal brothers, I congratulate your Eid with all my being. We have beautifully ordered and bound into 5 volumes the valuable risales that have been sent to us this time by the blessed innocents and esteemed elderly illiterates and their ustads, which have blessed my Eid even more. Inshallah, they will be benefited from immensely. We feel that the risales scribed so innocently and purely by those blessed innocents and esteemed illiterates add a keramat to the keramat of the Nur with their scribing, which is more effective than the most beautiful of writings. In fact, at the time when Feyzi had beautifully bounded and brought with him the books with tawafuk scribed by the children, I was experiencing severe pain in my shoulder muscles. I said to him, "Help me, brother. Can you rub my shoulders? My muscles are aching." Suddenly, we opened that book and realized that it had become such a remedy that it made us forget about my pains. We then remembered it in amazement. Also, we will include in the opening page of 5 of these books the names and ages of those who have scribed them, so it can serve as a lesson and to have others pray for them. On my behalf, congratulate each of them and especially their ustads, their mothers and fathers, the service of theirs and their Eids. Since they have given me a great consolation by actualizing my great hopes regarding Sparta, pass on to them the news that until I die, I will be indebted to them, the blessed group, the Madrasa Nuriye, and the custodians of the Nur and Rose factories. In accordance with the mystery of the Tasbihat following the Salat, just as after Salat there is a source of effulgence in entering with imagination and intention the grand Hatma of Muhammad والسلام, through Tasbih, Zikr, and Tahlil, the declaration of unity of Allah, and the Zikr and Tasbih performed by the circle of praise by Ahmed والسلام, which is as broad as the face of the earth. In the same way, by way of saying Amin to the du'as, and in sharing the good deeds and prayers performed by the thousands of innocent tongues and blessed elderly who pray and work and take lessons from the broad sphere of the Risale-i Nur's lessons and inside the circle of its light, both we and myself consider ourselves as being extremely fortunate to rise beyond space and through imagination, intention, and thought, stand shoulder to shoulder and be side by side with them. Especially towards the end of my life, to find such valuable, innocent, spiritual children and hundreds of junior Abdurrahmans is like having a life of paradise in this world for me. Last year during Ramadan, I witnessed Ayn al-Yaqeen and Haqq al-Yaqeen, the great results of the 1-hour work each of my brothers performed on my behalf due to my illness. These innocents, blessed elderly, and the fortunate ustads, whose prayers cannot be rejected, occasionally working and praying on my behalf by tongue and heart, and assisting me with their scribing, has showed me the eternal fruits of my service to the Risale-i Nur even in this world. Alhamdulillah hadha min fadl Rabbi. This is important. My dear loyal brothers, in recent days, due to the minor slap received by one of our loyal and attentive brothers for his carelessness, and although I have been connected at the degree of 1,000 people my strict state of receiving no news about the state of the world, its politics and wars, and my stern refusal and indifference these past 4 months, has surprised my elect brothers such as Feyzi and Emin and led them to inquire. This has made it necessary to discuss a truth which I have expressed many times before. It is as follows. It is necessary in this age that the truths of Iman be of the highest priority, and for other things to remain as secondary or in 3rd or 4th degree. Serving those sacred truths with the Risale-i Nur should be the foremost duty, cause for concern, an ultimate objective. Nevertheless, the current state of the world, particularly its social life, and especially the political life, and especially the advance of the world war, which has come as a manifestation of divine punishments for the vice and misguidance of civilization, has excited the temperaments and nerves through partisanship and has given priority to the life of this world. This pernicious century has and continues to inject and infuse those harmful and ephemeral desires so much so that it has become seated in the inner heart, even raising them to the degree of the diamond-like truths of Iman. Due to their ties and connections with political and social life, the scholars and even awliya outside the circle of the Risale-i Nur are leaving behind the rulings of the truths of Iman in second or third degree of priority. Following the influence of those currents, they start favoring munafiqs who are like-minded and criticize and become hostile to the people of truth and the people of Velaya who oppose them. They go as far as making religious sentiments abide by those worldly currents. Thus, in response to the strange danger of this century, the service and preoccupation with the Risale-i Nur has reduced the present politics and its currents to such a degree in my view that for 4 months now I have not been curious and have not asked about the Second World War. Also, while serving the truths of Iman, which are like eternal diamonds, the elect students of the Risale-i Nur must avoid being stagnant in their sacred duties and polluting their minds by preoccupying themselves with the chess games of tyrants. Almighty Allah has given us Nur, and as luminous duty, He has given them dark and oppressive games. Since they are not customers of the sacred lights we offer, they keep distant from us and do not assist us. It is therefore a great mistake to condescend and busy ourselves with following their dark and oppressive games at the expense of our duty. The spiritual pleasures and lights of Iman within our circle are sufficient and fulfilling for ourselves and our curiosity. We pass on salam to all our brothers in general and congratulate their Eids. Al-Baqi huwa al-Baqi, Sayyid Nursi. بسمه سبحانه وإن من شيء إلا يسبح بحمده. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته بعدد قطرات الثاب. My dear loyal brothers, together with all our brothers in this region, we once again congratulate your Eids. It is your right to have 5 or 6 reply letters written in return for your 5 or 6 letters. But I hope that you can excuse me for my illiteracy. I will make do with one short letter. Firstly, you should write in your reply to Husrev's letter in which he expresses his sadness at not being able to serve the Risale-i Nur. Husrev's alluring writings and copies are performing brilliant services on his behalf. And Hulusi's letters, which have entered the 27th letter too, are working on his behalf and in part performing his duties. And we will especially offer our prayers to his late mother. Also, the passage written by Hasanat from Aydın as a note to Hafiz Ali's letter, which is an exceptional dua, says, O Lord, delight Sa'id so that roses blossom in his delight. This strange passage is a unique keramet of his loyalty to the Risale-i Nur and his ikhlas, such that it is in perfect tawafuq with the exact time we were writing and sending you the letter about this helpless Sayyid, who would not laugh once in 30 days, laughing 30 times in one day. The letter written by Carpenter Ahmed, which has given me feelings of extraordinary joy and indebtedness, describing how, by way of keramet, the blessed students of the Risale-i Nur transcribed in one night the letters they received, and their successfully sending them off to the necessary places, brought me tears of joy and dispelled many of my worries. We have accepted that letter to be as worthy as a book and in place of 10 letters. Through His mercy, Almighty Allah sent us the champion Carpenter Ahmed in place of Carpenter Mustafa Çavuş, who is one of our late, valuable, very faithful and sacrificing brothers who served me for 8 years. The letters written by the custodian of the Nur factory Hafiz Ali, which show his extremely subtle and noble perception and his ihlas, which is at the degree of keramet, is worthy of a very long reply. However, we say this much for now. In response to his congratulating our aids in general, we too nominate him to resend our salam on our behalf to each of our brothers. The blessed group is with Tahir, and the writings of Tahir, which are as sweet as the nourishments of paradise and as beautiful as the gowns of the Huris, scribed by his valuable pen, have encouraged everyone here to study it with pleasure. We have not yet received the words Tahir has scribed and will send us, which Hafiz Ali mentions in his letter, and the copies scribed by his two blessed and innocent daughters are circulating amongst the community of women and girls here. They attract those who see it to the Risale-i Nur. The many gifts sent by the hard-working and sacrificing Tahir has left us greatly indebted. I wanted to ask about the state of the postman of the Nur, the blessed Abdullah. Hafiz Ali gave me an answer in his letter before I even asked. May Allah be pleased with both of them. At the end of his letter, the passage where he expresses how the innocent gifts sent by the innocent and blessed illiterate elderly provide great joy to even the inhabitants of the past, the future, and of the heavens is most fitting. The exceptional manager of the Nur Pir, Sabri, who has the vision of foresight, mentions a blessed sister of mine who has memorized the Jefshan al-Kebir, thereby showing her worthiness to be included among the students of the Risale-i Nur since earlier times. Together with her name, we will also send you a passage which was spontaneously expressed by Asiya Hanım, who has perfectly safeguarded the jubbah of Hazrat Mevlana Khalid to deliver it to us and is included in our duas. If the preacher from Kozja is completely connected with the Nur, Sabri can give him salam on my behalf. We have nicely organized the risales we have received from the innocents, illiterates, and their ustads into 7 volumes. The beautiful parts containing Tawafuk by the innocents is volume 1, and volume 2 has the beautiful parts by the elderly and includes the pleasant copy of the miracles of Ahmed والسلام, by the champion Shukri. In the beginning of each of the 7 volumes, we have written the passage from the 3rd page so that it serves as a lesson. Salam to everyone. The Risale-i Nur's 50 to 60 junior and innocent students and 40 to 50 illiterate blessed elderly and their valuable ustads have sent us their sweet copies which they have scribed with Tawafuk. We have compiled those parts into 7 volumes. These are only some of the risales by the blessed illiterate elderly who 40 years later, for the sake of their Risale-i Nur, began scribing copies by prioritizing it over everything else, and of the innocent children who have taken instructions from the Risale-i Nur and have decided to scribe them. The serious effort they have displayed during these times show that the Risale-i Nur has such ritual pleasure and enchanting Nur that the pleasure of its service surpasses the effectiveness of all the rewards and encouragements invented by schools to have students enthusiastically study in class. That is why what makes the children and illiterate elderly passionately serve the Risale-i Nur is the pleasure, joy, and encouragement it affords. Also, this shows that the Risale-i Nur is spreading its roots. Inshallah, it can never be uprooted and will prevail for generations to come. Like these innocent young students, the illiterate elderly who have entered the attractive circle of the Risale-i Nur, and in part the shepherds and valiant men who have displayed in this age immense effort for the Risale-i Nur under extremely strange conditions, demonstrate how the need for the Risale-i Nur at this time is greater than bread, so much so that farmers, shepherds, and valiant brothers view the need for the Risale-i Nur's truths as being more essential than their essential needs. Note: this indicates the efforts especially of Shukrefe, who is among the champions of the Nur, and especially of Veli, the shepherd who is commander of the mountains, and of Bahadur Suleiman from the Yörük, nomadic tribes and his likes. My dear, loyal brothers, the road nearby has been blocked and no mail has been delivered. I have been waiting for one letter or one risale that you will send. Now, with a warning made to my spirit, I stopped waiting and I am sending you 3 pieces that have shown positive effects in this area. The copies made by the innocents, the illiterate blessed elderly, and champion Tahiri are making brilliant conquests at all times. However, although I had trouble emanding a few minor pieces, that difficulty was really sweet for me. It was also a complete mercy. Including myself among the group of innocents and blessed ones, I claimed those pieces as though I had written them since their handwriting was similar to mine. If I had scribed them, it would look exactly like theirs.